First, who I am. I'm presenting. You see in the background, hopefully. For some guys, it's breakfast. Yeah. For some guy, it's afternoon. For me, it was breakfast in SharkFest Europe last year in Portugal. A very good one. And I was speaking in Singapore also for SharkFest, and in the US also several years ago. Yeah, many times. I'm a protocol geek, learning a lot of things with Wireshark, always new things, every SharkFest, and I hope you can learn also a bit from my side. But in general, first, I'm not the BACNet guru. Yeah, I'm only a networking guy, comparing bits and bytes, and I'm the presenter for your next hour. Our agenda for the next hour, first in general, then we have the data link layer, the object and services, then BACNet and Wireshark, the protocol basics, then also BACNet MS/TP, what that means I will explain later, the Internetworking, and last but not least, the wrap-up. Yeah. First, what is BACNet in general? Yeah, it's a specification, it's a protocol, it's a tool. Let's see. Building automation and control networks. The registered trademark, some ISO standard 16-484-5. It's hard to read them. I was reading it a bit after several times, reading again and again. But that was not the best way to learn what's BACNet. For me, it was like, is it better? What's happening here with Wireshark itself? For BACNet, bits and bytes, or different representation of BACNet, yeah, like in hexadecimal, like in binary, or like in decimal. Yeah, these values should be in your mind when you troubleshoot BACNet networks, for example, because that can be some ports in UDP communications. Yeah, BACNet is used for what? For building automation system, for ventilation, air conditioning, lights, for heating, freezing, cooling, for access, for fire detection system, and many more things are there. Yeah? Here you can see how they work together. Yeah, like you have connection over the internet, then you see here Ethernet, then you have serial communication, for example the sensors, yeah, for temperature, other sensors, valves, pumps, whatever. Yeah, it can be local, it can be remote. When I got into the BACNet study itself, a lot of terms and abbreviations I was confronted here, like APDU, okay, can be like that application protocol data unit here, BBMD, BACNet broadcast management device, PDT, broadcast distribution table. Okay, I hear 2 times broadcast. Okay, as a networking guy, IPv4, Ethernet, but there's no broadcast in IPv6. Then other abbreviation I found out, BVLC for BACNet virtual link control, BVLL for BACNet virtual link layer, COV change of value, DAddress for destination MAC address, D-length destination MAC address length. That special value I found out during the study was Wireshark. If the D-length is 0 and the DNet is all Fs, then the packet is a global broadcast. Okay, let's see later on here. So all these terms are very important when you have to learn about BACNet. So how we can learn? One thing I have done, I was going to the new GitLab webpage and was browsing about the source code. As Gerald mentioned in the keynote today, let's go to our homepage, to Wireshark, yeah? Then go to develop, browse the code. And let's see what's happening, yeah? Everyone can do it. And I use the search button here, typed in BACNet, and hit enter. Oh my gosh, I see EBAN/dissectors packet BACNet. Let's see, that's a good one. Other files are coming up. Tools generate BACNet vendors, dissectors, whatever. What I have done, I opened that file. That is a C file, so that all these developer guys having something configured for the dissector itself. And there's so much what I see. Oh, who is routed to network? I am routed to network. I could be routed to network. Recheck message to network. Router busy, whatever. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, so many options. I have to learn a lot of things. That is what I have done. I downloaded that file. So you can see it right here. I have to, because it's very new, this GitLab. Let me see, is that at the end? No, I think you can download it. Wait a moment. You can download it. Sorry for the menu is in German because I'm a German guy, not switch to English with Windows version. Let's see, this BACNet-C. Opened it with my favorite. Oops, sorry for that. And then you can see Zoom. And then you can search a lot of things, yeah. And then I was searching for that, for example. Wait, I will zoom it for you. Network layer message type. What that means. Sometimes you found very useful information from this development guys. They're using a lot of comments inside of this dissectors. And then you can learn from them order a lot, yeah. Let's go back to the presentation. The source code itself, for me, a great source for learning and extending my BACNet knowledge. So for the community itself, when you have some questions so far, my co-moderator Graham is answering your question in the Discord channel. And I see a lot of things coming here up sometimes on my Zoom with some chat window, yeah. Welcome all first-timers and all returnees, yeah. Okay. So let's go on. What's happening on the data link layer, yeah? BACNet using different data link layers, yeah? From ArcNet, from Ethernet, from point-to-point, from master-slave token passing, whatever. I will show you that later, the different data link layers. What I have done, I was searching. In old days, there was the bugs.wireshark.org. Right now, it's on GitLab also converted recently. And I found out several links for that. Wait a moment. Let's copy that for you guys to the chat window in the Zoom here, yeah? Let me see. To all panelists, copy and paste. There is one for the ARCnet itself, yeah? Please, can someone respond to me?
Werner, you need to copy that to all attendees as well. I'll do that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was my fault.
I've done that for you.
Okay. Everyone got it, hopefully? Graham, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So with that link, let's open that. And there's a good advice from my side, yeah? When you open a bug on Wireshark, GitLab with the issues right now, please attend and BCAP describing what's happening, what you found out, what's going wrong. And here we have one ARCnet BCAP, yeah? So let's download that, open it with Wireshark. So my Wireshark is opening. Let's switch first to my default profile. So I have this layout, yeah. Hopefully everyone can see it. Graham, is it in the right font size? Otherwise, I will make it a bit bigger for you.
That's good.
That's good. So you see the source, the destination, a bit different ARCnet than TCP/IP or Ethernet, yeah. But BACNet is working on ARCnet, yeah. For me, never have dealt with ARCnet. I was in token ring, in FTDI, ATM. Then we switched to Ethernet, and right now mainly all network I was troubleshooting and responsible for, based mainly on Ethernet. Yeah. So you see, this data link layer with logical link control is working, and on top of that, there is called built-in automation and control network, NPDU and APDU. Remember, APDU for application protocol data unit and NPDU for network layer protocol data unit. Yeah. There's another thing. There's all this captures going back. There's only one frame in this issue case. Yeah. So I will copy that for you guys to the Zoom chat window. Let me check here. Hopefully I will do it all panelists and attendees. Graham, can you give me a feedback if everyone can see it?
Looks good.
Some from the attendees can also write that they received it, please. One okay would be enough. Oh yeah, thanks you, Beryl, and oh yeah, so many years. Thanks and thanks. So let's open it. That one, yeah. Wait a moment. I will make it my default browser a bit because the Zoom panelist from Zoom put it sometimes in and the chat window. And there's another one here. Open it also with Wireshark and see how it looks like, yeah. First impression, yeah. Okay, we got 4. Confirm rec, okay. No idea right now, yeah, what is working. Then I was closing all these files, or I was doing it on Wireshark itself, yeah. I'm going to analyze. And then I was searching for enabled protocols. And I was searching here. So I used regular expression. Hopefully that works for me. Wait a moment. Wait a moment. This is a term for regular expression, yeah? The dash or the first character is the beginning of a string, yeah? The brackets, case sensitive, lower b or in capital, yeah? The Wireshark enables 4 protocols, yeah? Built-in automation control, application protocol data unit, network protocol data unit, BACNet over master-slave token passing, and there's a BACNet virtual link control. These 4 are decoded by Wireshark itself. So when BACNet I was learned, okay, there's app, net, BACNet MSTP, and PVLC. Let's go back to the presentation. Then I was opening the third file. I will copy it for you guys in the chat window again. Panel list. Let's open that file. So you see some tools or some screenshot. The guy was using it for this issue, yeah. VTS, it's a software tool, and there's a PCAP also. Let's open that and see how it looks like. So there's BACNet, yeah. You see, no Ethernet header. There's only BACNet MS/DP source and destination here. Okay. No Ethernet, no IP, no IPv6, no ARCnet. So different encapsulation, I called it, yeah, for BACNet are used, and Wireshark able to represent most of them, yeah. Let's go back to our presentation. I found another one. So we had ARCnet, we had IPv4, we had MS/DP, and we have another one, yeah. Let's mark that for you guys and put it also in the chat window here. Let's go. So you got the last link, Graham, and all attendees. Another okay would be helpful for me because the feedback. Oh yeah, yes. Looks good. Thank you guys. So let's open that. Oh my gosh, 3 attachments, yeah. But there's one. BACNet event enrollment, event timestamp malformed, yeah. By the way, most of them are resolved. I found only one is opened right now for BACNet in this BAC database with GitHub, I'm not sure. But you see normal TCP, IP, UDP, but then there's BACNet here. Another BACNet. And the next thing I found out, okay, I'm interested in ARP, in UDP. Then I found out there are display filters here. There's a reference, for example. Maybe you can use dfilter, Wireshark, reference, and the display filter reference, yeah. Let's see for B. Searching back, and you see here building automation and control network and BACNet also, yeah. There was another one, PVLC, BACNet there, virtual link control, 20 fields. Okay, let's see. What's interesting, the actual version. Let me see here. Oops. Sorry for having a nervous finger right now. You see the version means the Wireshark version and not the BACNet version or something, yeah? That means with Wireshark version 3.2.7 also supported this type of filter, yeah? And then when I go here, oops, you see a lot of things. Okay, it's working. This BACNet virtual link control is working with IP. You have a mask, a port, and timeout TTL. That means all with IP. And then I found out there's an IPv6 address here. This IPv6 coming support from Wireshark version 2.6.0, yeah? That means when you use an old version of Wireshark, IPv6 sometimes not supported, yeah? Very interesting, I found out. So we'll open a lot of trace files right now. So there's one BACNet virtual PVRC link control. There can be a filter. Oh yeah, you see, BACNet virtual link control. So we can make that, as you know, apply as a filter selected. Or we can go to some field value, apply as a filter selected. And you see in the left corner, yeah, the filter expression type here, type. Wait, hopefully I get with my pointer. Going down, oops. You see PVLC point type. And the thing is, it's 1 byte, this value, yeah. As an expert with working Wireshark, profiles save a lot of time. When you look into my profiles, oh my gosh, a lot of profiles. I found out there's a web page right now, wiresharkprofiles.com from Betty Dubois, or other sources you can use. And I have done some BACNet profiles. And it looks like more colorized right now, yeah? Let's go back to our presentation. So different capture files, different filtering helps a lot here. What I found out, as I mentioned, read the comments inside of the dissectors, for example, yeah? BACNet over ARCnet is really BACNet over blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, I was thinking, I have to read the basics again, yeah? Because link layer control is the basic of Ethernet communication here. Any questions so far, Graham, from the audience?
None I've seen so far.
Okay, thank you. So, BACNet and Wireshark itself, yeah, a good tool. And I can learn a lot of things with this BACNet protocol, yeah. What I have done also, setting up a lab, a BACNet lab, some tools like Wireshark. You need a BACNet server and a BACNet Explorer. Okay, I installed in my computer here, like a BACNet controller, Explorer, sorry. Yet another BACNet Explorer, Yabe, yeah. There's a lot of references also there, where I can find a lot of information. One of the very useful information is the first reference, bacnet.sourceforge.net. This guy was 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, on Wireshark SharkFest, and was bringing up all this idea, what he is participating, Steve Cards, in the communities for BACNet. He's a BACNet guru in myself, and he had a lot of software written at such time, and all the dissectors also invented by him and other guys for improving all the quality by dissecting it, yeah. But this tool It's very useful. And I test something like that. I make a socket open and to see with IPv6 what's happening, yeah? So going back to presentation. So this device, make a BACNet IP over UDP, and you see BAC0, yeah? Hexadecimal value for the UDP port, yeah? Remember, what was it in decimal, this port? 47808. So you make a socket open, then you see you get a device, some IP address, and the port itself. What's also useful, you see it in my background, to have some very good coloring rules here. For that, have a look on that. My coloring rules, go to View, Coloring Rules, and then open that window. Oh my gosh, coloring rules, very useful. For me, I can see is an error or not, yeah. Different kind of filters are there. I will zoom for it. Like BACNet application or BACNet virtual link control, point function equal 0x09 for broadcast to network, for example, yeah. And there are other things, yeah. And the good thing, what's happened here, you can import some coloring rules or you can export it, yeah. Now let's export them on my documents for SharkFest Virtual. Is it possible, Graham, that we can share some files in the chat window? I have no idea. Let's
I
see.
believe so, but I don't know how.
BACNet coloring. Oops, typing thing. Maybe we can share afterwards, yeah? So
yeah, we can always post on Discord, and usually you make up all your support files, capture files, and say filters and color rules into a zip, and then Angelo uploads them to the website afterwards.
okay, sounds good, yeah. But all these coloring rules, yeah, when you analyze a lot of BACNet trace files, you found something useful, and then add one rule for coloring it, whatever. All these templates or profiles and coloring rules, when you analyze more and more and learning more and more, you get your own set for colorizing and filtering, yeah? So let's go back to the presentation itself. One very good thing is in Wireshark, the custom columns. When you go to Wireshark, I make a screenshot for that. In the appearance columns, let's do it online. Let's see. Wait a moment. Close the coloring rules. Go to that. Edit. Preferences. And then you see the columns itself here. Some are highlighted, some are not here. And you see this type of customs, yeah? Let me zoom in. Oops. This type of custom, yeah? And the display filter itself here. It's very useful, yeah? By the way, Graham, how is this zooming working? Is it delayed a lot or is it working well? I have
It's
no...
good.
It's good? Okay, so I'll make this field a bit bigger. And then you can see which of the custom column I'm not interested right now, but sometimes I can turn it on, off, to see what they happen on this trace file itself here. You can click it here, or you can do it like click one of the columns, not sorting it. First go to here and right click here, and then you can enable it or disable it, yeah. Or you can remove it, or you can add it, the alignment, left, right, center, whatever, yeah. And you can edit it, yeah. It's very useful to have specialized custom columns. For that, the point is, you see what are the difference, yeah. Like for that, let's filter it up. Oh my gosh, something red. Okay, red means something happened. Then on the right side, wait, I will move you guys, and you see the coloring. So we have the indication on the right side. There's red, there's purple and green here. Something is wrong here in this trace file maybe, yeah. Let's go here to see something here. Okay, what I then do, I expand each tree or each layer, I called it, yeah, from the dissection itself, yeah. Oh, there's an error. The coloring rule tells me already, red means something going wrong, yeah. And when I go to that field arrow, yeah, let's move here. And on the left corner again, BACNet And when this type is at the value of 5, yeah, that means there's an error. Not good, yeah. We can go up here. It's called, wait. Manage Save Bookmarks. And I found out when you click it by the left button of your mouse or your touchpad, you have the filter. When you click it on the right side, that is my lovely tool, I would say, display filter expression. I learned so much from that. When I open that display filter expression, yeah, let me see. That's my favorite one, this Wireshark display filter expression. In the new versions, they make it a bit more complicated to find it right now. In old versions, it was easier, one button to hit it. And there's one good thing, there's a search field. So let's type in back app point type. And you see, back app has point type, has something, yeah? So, and the next thing when I click on that, the predefined values coming up, confirmed dash request, unconfirmed dash request, whatever. And when I click on that error, it's a value of 5. It's an unsigned integer. All this programming, guys, okay, know all the terms. What is an integer, a floating point, whatever. But for me, it's only, I click on that, see, okay, value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 2 of the power of 3 means 8 different possibilities, yeah? There's a new cool feature because I'm using here for that presentation the development version, yeah, 3.3. Because Gerard mentioned in the keynote very cool feature. I think you heard about it. Hopefully every guy was there in the keynote session. And I made for that a different profile. I called it BACNet diagram. When I select that profile, oh my gosh, that's a cool feature. And you see on the right-hand side, oops, moving all these windows here. But then you see bolting automation and control network APTU. You see first it's coming the BACNet virtual link control, then the bolting automation or BACNet network PTU, and then the application PTU, first network and then application. And as Gerald mentioned, how to get that, it's like in the new version, preferences or development right now. Oops, here is it. On the packet diagram, yeah. Go to layout, packet list for pane 1, packet details for pane 2, and packet diagram for pane 3, yeah. I would expect that we have a pane 4 for the hex values or bit values, yeah. But for that is an amazing feature. And you can see when you click here, you highlight the type, and let's go to function, and you see it's highlighted here also, then here, and then you see the version, the control, the source network address, the source MAC layer. Okay, the source MAC layer. Is it from MAC, from Ethernet? No. The source MAC layer here address, it's only a value with 8 bits. An Ethernet MAC address has 6 bytes or 48 bits. In BACNet, they use also a MAC layer address, but with a value of 8 bits. You see it on the ARCnet, for example, and you see it on master-slave token passing. Yeah. Another feature Gerald mentioned also, right-click and show field values. And all these values are put it into this diagram. Yeah. You can save that also. And I found out that's amazing, yeah, for me. When you learn BACNet, you got a drawing from the protocol itself. Amazing feature. Thanks to Gerald and all the developers. That was for me, wow, when I thought that, yeah. Let's go back to the presentation so far. Useful filters, yeah. For filtering in BACNet itself, you can use like BACNet virtual link control or BACApp or BACNet. That's my favorite filter, yeah. And then you see sorting by the numbers. Then you see how many of that filters are displayed, yeah. From 104 filtered to 78. So that means the rest of them, 25%, are not BACNet related, yeah. And display filter, I use the display filter buttons here, yeah. So that are very shortcuts. I click them, and when I click that button here, I call it BACNet-APTU error, reject, and abort. There is a filter string for that, which makes me everything red. When you filter it, I'm searching for errors in that trace file. Wow, poof, 4 frames telling me what's going wrong, yeah. Let's go back to the presentation. There's another feature I found out with Wireshark. Oops. Wait a moment. Show somewhere. Yes. There's a random packet generator on Wireshark. When you install Wireshark, I make a screenshot here when I installed the actual version of Wireshark when I set it up, because I'm running right now development version. You can, oops, you can check here with random packet generator, and then you can see BACNet virtual link control. The same thing is happening also on the CLI command, yeah? BACNet virtual link control. So you can do it on a Wireshark trace itself. Let's close that file. Show the interfaces. Refresh interfaces. Coming up or not? Yes. And there's a random packet generator here. And when I click that setting icon, yeah, I can say how many packets, what's happening, and the type of the packet, BACNet virtual link control. I click that, they start, boom, clear the filter, and you see 1000 frames are displayed. And when I use my filter button with that, only one hit that. Error, rejected, or abort, yeah. There's a lots of things I learned with Wireshark, with BACNet. Amazing tool, I would say, yeah. Let's go back. There's also other things, yeah. Wireshark provides statistics about BACNet itself, yeah. The different kind of frames or the information are in the trace file. What's happening, like an unconfirmed service request, UDC time synchronization, read property, whatever. You can read it by yourself. But this statistics, yeah. When you go to Wireshark statistics, there's also some BACNet. Let's zoom for it, yeah. You see, going to statistics, BACNet, and then there's some predefined things there. Packet sorted by instance ID, by IP, by object type, by services. Very useful, yeah. But keep in mind, when you use that, the trace file has to be passed every time. So here, this packet diagram, how to enable it, the values, and I use a special profile for it, yeah. So let's collab that topic. Questions so far, Graham, for that?
Nothing so far.
Okay, thanks. So hopefully I will not run out of time. Let's see, 50 minutes, okay. BACNet defines services, yeah, like devices. Services called like I am here or who is, yeah. That are the basic things, yeah. Very basic service followed by I am reply, yeah. Here you can see some screenshot about this who is, yeah. You can set it up this who is with a low and high limit, for example, yeah. And then this guy's answering, I'm this guy with that instance number, and I have the BACNet object identifier of 12, yeah. That's basic communication, how I call it client and server works, yeah. That's very basic, yeah. But you see in the trace file that we have some objects, yeah. The BACNet are based on an object model, yeah. And the last sentence is one object in the device is used to represent the device itself, yeah. For Wireshark, wait a moment, I will copy that. Oh, come on. Copy that for you guys in the chat window. Can you give me a feedback if you received the links? 1 or 2, yes?
It's good.
Good, thanks. And with that, you can filter on that. Let's go back. Close the chat window. With the display filter expression, my favorite tool in Wireshark, you can see, there are some values, yeah? So let's see if we have the filter, BACNet, right click here. It takes a bit of time because all those filter values, yeah? Let's see this object types, and you see a lot. First of all, I look at that always, yeah. It's an unsigned integer, 4 bytes. 4 bytes, the power 2 power of 32 means a lot of values can be defined here. So I go that, and I was reading all that. Okay, that is a long list. Massive and impressive for me. So many object types available, yeah. Let's go back. And many more, I called it here, yeah. Some services also for change of value, alarms, event services like for lightening, for heating, for cooling, for putting up a firmware file, creating an object, deleting an object. There are so much things, yeah. There was one software emulation I found during my study. There is one tool, they called it like a room control, yeah. So you see the temperature of the room, and then you can control that via BACNet, yeah. So you have these 3 buttons for comfort, eco, and vacancy. And then you see the BACNet device ID here, yeah. This is used in the communication itself. Here a slide for these errors. Another thing is for timing, yeah. BACNet with timing, you can set it up a time on a BACNet device. UDC based or not UDC based, different things. One big issue I found out during my studies with BACNet is segmentation. Is that segmentation supported or not? In both way, in one way, in other way, or none? Several things. All of this protocol data unit size, yeah? For fragmentation, segmentation and fragmentation, yeah? A lot of issues there with BACNet devices I found out, yeah? During studying a lot of trace files there. So let's close that topic so far. Object and services. Questions so far, Graham, from the audience?
All good at the moment.
Thanks. What I found out, you can use an USB dongle and connect to a BACNet network itself, which is not based on Ethernet, which is based on master-slave token passing. I think I showed you a link in the knowledge base or in the BAC database where you have a BACNet master-slave token passing. And the master-slave token passing using addressing of the power of 2 power of 8, yeah? That's one thing that I use very often, yeah? And this address used as broadcast, yeah? And pull from master, it's also a thing. And the last sentence I found out, slave conserve bandwidth, but master burn the bandwidth. And that's serial communication. And Wireshark is able to capture a serial communication. There are several ways I found out. Let's close a thing here. Go back to Wireshark main page. Let's close that. File close. And there's one tool I found out. BACNet MSTP on COM3. There's an XCAP interface. And there's a tool, a feature in Wireshark, external capture interface. And there's one guy from this BACNet gurus who wrote a small exe file, which we can use here on the XCAP folder. Let's see, where is it? Personal XCAP. Oh, no, not personal, global XCAP. And here's a file, small MS-DOS file from this guy who's able to bring Wireshark into a serial line communication sniffer, I called it, or analyzer, yeah? To capture on serial interfaces. When I was seeing that, I was, wow. No longer needed a serial analyzer with some tool on software and some dongle available. You can capture on serial communication, yeah? So how is it done? You have your BACNet router, your BACNet devices, and then you have your USB to RS485 converter. And with this USB port, you can sniff on that. Amazing. Oops. Here's a slide, how is it? Then you have the serial communication and where it's stored, yeah? And this is a URL. I put it in the chat window for you guys also. Let's go. Chat. All panelists. Where you can find that also, yeah? Let's go back. Questions so far from the audience to master-slave token passing?
All clear at the moment.
Thanks. Let's jump to that internet working topic. I'm having 8 minutes, I think.
Correct.
So networking, what's happening when you have more than one segment of BACNet? You have a firewall between BACNet segments, yeah? You need a BACNet broadcast management device. I was thinking, oh, BACNet based on broadcast with IP. Broadcast, oh my gosh, broadcast storms happened sometimes in the past in my network troubleshooting. Not so good. What's the point of that? There are different type of it. We have 1 hop and 2 hop. And what I found out during my study, how is this working, this broadcast management? 1 hop, 2 hop. I put some notes for me internally. How is that working? It's only to put the forward of one segment to another segment to reach the other party between routed connections, yeah? For example, you have a subnet on the left side and you have another subnet on the right side. This broadcast or BACNet broadcast management device forwarded it to the other guy, and this guy broadcasted it locally on that subnet. So it's a way how it works, yeah? There's some screenshot how you can figure it on some tools here. The broadcast management device settings with the table size and foreign device registration also a point here. You can enable it. And what I have done it, I captured sometimes something and see what's happened, yeah? Like foreign device registration, yeah? I was thinking, how is it on a big network, like on an airport, for example, yeah? Or whatever. Fully meshed. I was thinking, from BGP, I know we had the concept of route reflector, yeah? Is that also possible with BACNet? Maybe not, yeah? There's something like a hub and spoke thing, yeah? So you can bring this BACNet broadcast management device B as an hub and the other one as a spoke, yeah? There are different challenges with that. And also when you have a network address translation between the parts, also a big issue, yeah? Like an IPsec tunnel between auth again. Many things I found out that need more thing of research, whatever, yeah? So let's close that section so far. Question, Graham?
No, and that's your 5 minutes to go notice.
Okay. I was thinking for my studies when I was researching what's happening about security on BACNet, yeah? No security mechanism in BACNet IP. Sometimes they said, TLS is working, but no UDP broadcast and BACNet broadcast management device with BACNet secure. And the big challenge for me as learning as a beginner with BACNet to get a right capture file. Yeah? I was thinking also what's happening with BACNet IPv6. And then I found out, oh yeah, hard to find sample captures, yeah? So let me check, close all Wireshark instances here. Too much opened, maybe. Oops, oops. Also here. So let's open Wireshark again. This always takes time because the local interfaces takes time, because I had a lot of interfaces with Hyper-V and whatever. And let's capture on that. Let me see on which one. First close this BACNet Explorer. Let's capture on that or that. No, capture on that. And then let's see if that works. Add and device. Let's see. And you see here in that Explorer, yeah, you have several options, yeah, like BACNet IP over UDP, master slave token passing over serial, point-to-point over serial, or BACNet on Ethernet, yeah. Let's bring one socket. Let's check here. Oh, yes, hopefully that is the right interface. And see what's happened. We started capturing. Yes, we started capturing. And from my folder list, no, that's not there. BVRC or back app or BACNet. Oh, an IPv6 happening here. First, the BACNet virtual link control. And then we open that. And let's see with the new feature, the diagram itself. And you see we have the type, the function, the PVLC length, the virtual source and virtual destination. And this thing is needed for extending with BACNet to work with IPv6. When I was studying for that and researching, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I was reading the standard again. Wait a moment. And you see, although the destination is not on broadcast anymore, it's an IPv6 multicast address, yeah? And when you go to the IP header, this IPv6, and the destination address, you see FF0E, and this E is special, yeah? What else I have done? My favorite tool inside Wireshark, display filter expression. And I compared these two items here, the function of PVLC and the function of IPv6. And then I put the two screenshots together, combined on a sheet, on a Paint or whatever, some graphic tools, and then checking, boom, 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 value by value. And then, okay, in IPv4, we have no virtual address resolution and no virtual address resolution acknowledge. There's a lot of things for that. Address resolution, forward address resolution, acknowledgement. And these two are for IPv6. You see it here, I showed you there. And this IPv6 virtual link layer, yeah? Okay, Graham, questions so far from the audience? I'm out of time a bit, I would say, or right in time.
You're on time. Nothing there. If the audience wants to post any questions in the chat or in the Q&A box, we'll have a go at those. We've got 15 minutes allocated for Q&A.
Okay. I will give you one takeaway, yeah? Because I'm not a BACNet guru and expert, whatever call it, yeah? I'm a BACNet associate, learned BACNet with Wireshark. And I learned a lot of them by using different tools, different feature, different capture files I found. Sometimes I build my own capture file. And that helps a lot to extend your knowledge. Use that, please. Although in that way, I also recommended it. Graham, for example, told me before I start the session, he's working also in the control system area, yeah? Graham, can you tell me something about BACNet, what you learned so far for the audience?
Well, as I say, my day job is control systems, telemetry protocols, but I don't actually have too much to do with BACNet, more water, wastewater, and electrical industry protocols. But like a lot of the other telemetry protocols, it sprung up from point-to-point connections and serial connections and very low power devices in terms of computing power. And then as link bandwidth came up with the move to things like ARCnet and then subsequently Ethernet, the devices themselves have become much more powerful and the protocol has grown up around that. So it's had bits bolted on all the way through.
Yeah.
We do have one question there about asking, is BACNet protocol very widely used? And it certainly is around building control.
Yes.
It's leaked out in one or two other places, but it is the de facto thing in building control, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
Yes, and it's very used very often. And the challenge also for the networking guy is for them, TCP IP, yeah? But there was one, I think I had one, let me check, one graphics area. And the point is, mainly networking guys who are using Wireshark, yeah, using Ethernet, yeah, Internet or intranet and Ethernet, yeah. But these guys, yeah, using serial communication RS485, yeah, and for me was very interesting, yeah, because I know in old days, yeah, in HLAN time, yeah, I had to use an HLAN Internet advisor for serial communication, yeah, with bit-orientated protocols, yeah. And right now you have only a dongle, and then you connect via 3-wire with a ground, A, B, and ground to your network, yeah. And that's amazing, in my opinion, that Wireshark, not only an Ethernet analyzer and decoder. For me, Wireshark itself, yeah, is the engine to make it in a humable, readable way, all the bits and bytes, yeah. For example, when I made another thing sometimes, yeah, you can switch here, right click, and you can show all the bits. And then you can read the bits and bytes like, and you see there's an error here and there. That's amazing, yeah. Okay, wait a moment. Other questions so far? There's what serial dongle recommended for BACNet? Oh, Barry, that is a good question. There are several dongles. I found out for that dongles, yeah, it depends which chipset is used here. The FDDI chipset, something like that. That's the important thing. There are some commercial dongles available, and I found out some very cheap ones available. But the point is, special communication parameter has to be in sync. And when it's not in sync, sometimes it's working not well. I think this brand here, it's not so cheap, I think, but not so much experience for that, because serial communication was for me like, okay, never was thinking before about that with BACNet, yeah. But there are good analyzers out there, yeah. But it's a good question, Barry, yeah. It's like which Ethernet card I recommend for capturing, yeah. It's the same thing like that, yeah. We have to test a few things, yeah. Is it working in a live environment or not? It's not a good answer, I would say, Barry, but in general, it depends on the chipset, yeah.
I guess as well, it also depends on the XCAP program. As you mentioned in your presentation, that we use an XCAP, an external capture interface in Wireshark that allows it to communicate with different hardware other than ordinary network cards. And that's the little EXE that you saw there. So that EXE itself may have requirements about the devices it can communicate with.
Yes. But what I was reading about it, it depends on the chipsets mainly, yeah. You can get it for $10, for example, but some cost $100. It depends, yeah. For me, worth learning, getting new experience, that BACNet is not only IP and Ethernet, yeah. Any other questions so far? We had some question on the Discord thing. Let me check. Someone? No, we use mainly.
No, it's all quiet on Discord.
Okay,
I think
good.
that's that'll be it, unless anybody's got any more questions. There's several times it's come up about being able to access the recorded video later. I believe that is the plan, that all the sessions have been recorded. They will be processed, and they will be put up on the retrospective site that will allow you to download them. And hopefully Werner will be able to make a zip file of
this coloring rules and trace files
that will be available as well.
Okay. Otherwise, thank you wherever you are in the world. As I said in the starting, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, I would say. Have a good virtual SharkFest, and hopefully we can see into touch face to face again for further SharkFest, yeah. And also I would say thank you to my co-moderator Graham. Very excellent, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Werner. A few thank yous going there in the chat window. Thank you everybody for attending. Werner, I forgot to remind you, please fill out your rating report. I don't quite have the link to hand on the session, which is very important feedback for us all, both the presenters and for the event organizers, to make sure that we bring you the most appropriate content for you. So please do make sure you fill out your feedback.
Okay, thanks. And have a great day, a good night, whatever, and a good SharkFest. Thank you, everyone. I will stop sharing, and I think we will stop the recording then, yeah?